Hi everyone, I'm Zan, your astrologer, and welcome to your weekly energy update, a general tarot guidance which takes a look at how the present moment energies can influence our lives and our emotional states. And of course, this reading takes a look at how these energies can play out both for us individually but also collectively, and it also has a guidance part and things to be careful with. Now, first of all, individually speaking, the energy is depicted by the Empress, the Three of Coins, and the Hangman reversed. Now, what these cards may suggest is a little bit different than what might be happening in the world astrologically, because most of us probably know today we have this very strong new moon in the sign of Aries. New beginnings, action-oriented, big decisions, huge momentums, etc. And this is where the cards are telling us that even though our feelings, our emotional states, our instincts even may be rushing, may be on fast-forward mode, and a lot of us are so very ready to make certain rather risky decisions, risky moves, leaps of faith. Yet an energy has to be embodied, it has to reach the material plane, so to speak, and the material plane does have certain speed limits, so it would be very unrealistic and quite illusionary for all of us to expect things to just perfect themselves instantly in a couple of hours, in a couple of days, because that is not how it's gonna happen. But rather, the Empress card suggests that right now we are in a position where, symbolically speaking, we are like gardeners. It is the spring, so it is time to plant, it is time to clean up, it is time to make certain smaller choices and decisions. For example, which seeds to plant where, which plants grow quicker, which grow slower. So basically we have to make order, we have to make a really stable mental image in our minds of what our priorities are, what is worth, for example, investing a lot of strength into, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of money, because after all, the Empress can very well represent investments, and when she does that, those investments are rather big. They are meant for the long-term future. So every such action basically requires a very well-established plan. Of course, that doesn't mean that it has to be set in stone, but it has to be viable, and basically it has to offer us certain, even just logical and rational guarantees that it can work out in the future, no matter, for example, if it's an investment, how the markets change. And if we combine this with the Three of Coins, well, the message is very straightforward. All of us are working for our futures, all of us are working for a better life, all of us are investing time, energy, and effort into whatever we can, not just for the future, but also to be able to work and function and be operating optimally in the present. Also, both of these cards are earth energy. The Empress can be seen as the ruler of Taurus, Mother Nature, etc., while the Three of Coins is definitely money, work, something that we are investing our time, energy, efforts, mastery, knowledge, know-how, skills into. So we cannot expect everything to come to fruition extremely quickly. We cannot expect a seed that was planted today to become a fruit-bearing, mature plant tomorrow. So everything will take a time. And this doesn't really contradict this Aries new moon of new beginnings, etc. Because this is where we're just planting the seeds, and with the Three of Coins, not just planting, but also watering them, nurturing them, preparing the soil, preparing for the next phase, of course, when they sprout and they need a little extra care, they need extra attention. So basically, most of us with this energy are actually on the right path. We are already doing the work by instinct, or basically everything in our lives, our karma, our fate guided us here in this present moment. So one way or another, all of us are already working, all of us are already immersed into this action-oriented work energy. And even if our mind in this present moment cannot see that we are actually heading towards something new, something different, something revolutionary, where the seeds that we are planting right now, that we are actually nourishing, nurturing right now, are going to lead us to a very rich harvest. And of course, even not being 1,000,000% sure of ourselves is a rational point of view, because life is full of risks. Everything and anything can happen at any time. So nothing in life, in the universe, ever has 100% guarantee. Yet that shouldn't stop us or deter us from actually having a lot of faith and hope that our harvest is going to be rich and it is going to provide us with absolutely everything that we need. Now, of course, for those individuals, for example, who haven't found anything to work with yet, for example, a new career, a new job, certain contracts, clients, their business, or whatever they're doing independently, maybe it is not in full swing yet. This Three of Coins definitely is an encouragement. Don't give up. Don't judge the situation prematurely. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Because every single second, every new breath that we take in each second bears the possibility of something new. So even if you are working on searching or securing an opportunity, prospecting the market, or for example job offers, or if your lucrative effort, business or whatever is still doing just baby steps, well, this means keep up the work, keep up the faith, don't be discouraged. Do not compare yourself with other people, because yes, absolutely, there are gonna be some of us who will take a massive step of progress in this period, perhaps this week or next week or the month. And for you it might not be as quick as for other people, but that shouldn't really discourage you whatsoever, because everyone has their own timing and everyone has their own unique set of skills and ways to accomplish in life based on their archetype, on their personality, on their life experience. So some people, for example, are innate opportunists and they can just very quickly seize an opportunity when it appears, because basically their instincts are designed in that fashion, while other people are more like, let's say, ants or bees. They just build and build and build, and they are not really relying on any opportunities. They go for security. So basically, your instincts are guiding you to your own specific means of achieving success and progress. So don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare your evolution to others. You have to embody this Empress, self-trust, and just believe in your self-worth. Believe of just how good of gardener you are, because Mother Nature made you that way. Inside your instincts, with all your skills and uniqueness, you already have everything inside of you that you just need, but your modus operandi, how you go about things, also has to match who it is that you are, and not basically just copy other people. If you're a slower kind of person, where your work definitely is more meticulous, you're a perfectionist, Well, of course, whatever you're trying to accomplish will be a bit slower, but the end result will be extremely spectacular, and chances are you can share it with whoever you desire. While people who are more opportunistic, well, they have to consume that opportunity very, very quickly. So each person with their own uniqueness and distinctiveness, including their instinctual configuration, so to speak. So this part of the reading is very straightforward. Believe in yourself, believe in your efforts, believe in the value any action of yours can add to the world, to your life, to the lives of others. Keep on doing what you're doing, even if it's just searching, even if it's just staying open to opportunities. That is also work, that is also effort, that also needs a lot of investment. Or basically, if you are trying to attract something through spiritual means, please, by all means, keep on meditating, keep on focusing, keep on visualizing whatever it is that you do. Just do the things you do. Stay strong on your path, because chances are most of us are already so aligned. Even if these very fast, quick and heated energies and karmic currents that are playing out on the external world may discomfort some people who are a bit slower by nature, don't let this worry you, don't let this give you any false information. You are doing fine. You are doing exactly what you should be doing, what you're supposed to be doing. You're guided, and even if you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel, well, you're just working for it through instinct. Like, for example, well, the mole or any kind of animal who doesn't have a very good sight digs or does something, well, they cannot see the final destination through their physical eyes, but by instinct, they know exactly what to do, so they persevere, they dig, they keep on doing their stuff, and sure enough, they will find whatever they seek. But of course, for some people, this Empress can represent a lot of offers, a lot of opportunities, just popping up in their lives. So this can also mean don't be shy. Accept, receive, grab everything that the universe gives you. Embody the energy of prosperity. If this is the karmic theme in your life, if this is how this new moon manifests in your life, well, by all means, accept it and enjoy it and invest it, because that is the Three of Coins. You may receive a lot of resources, or let's say new connections, everything that has to do with prosperity, the Empress, your magnetism, what you draw into your life. And of course, naturally, some of that will go to celebration, as in honoring your being, honoring your effort, honoring your power. But some of it has to be conserved and invested into something. And even if you do not know what to invest it yet, don't worry, because it will come to you. It is also a really, really good period for thinking, for creating plans, for innovating, for bright ideas, for epiphanies, for eureka moments. So just enjoy and basically celebrate the prosperity that is being given to you. Yet from a totally different perspective, this Empress and Three of Coins represents self-worth. It is your value, not just inner value, but also your physical body. So this means that, under such a very heavy fire energy, when basically all planetary positions speak about action, well, from a psychological perspective, this Three of Coins represents a lot of work, effort, healing, conversations with the self, or let's say meditations or soul searching, shadow work, going through a therapist, going to a coach, going through, let's say, an astrologer. So everything that you have done to heal your self-worth, everything that you have done to heal your heart, your emotional world, and to make it prosperous. So from a psychological perspective, well, this is definitely the time to go out and shine, to be proud of who you are, to be proud of your body, to be proud of your soul, to be proud of your virtues, your honesty, your dignity, your diligence, your compassion, your life philosophies, your way of thinking, everything healthy and harmonious that you embody within yourself. So every little gesture that you do throughout this week, well, it should be done with being proud of yourself, allowing yourself to shine, allowing your smile to radiate, allow you to truly take pride in all of your accomplishments, in who it is that you are, all the blessings that you received at birth from Mother Nature, for example, the physical body. This is a really good period when you should truly focus on being attractive, allowing others to see your beauty. May that be physical beauty, psychological, emotional beauty, spiritual beauty. So express yourself, live life to the fullest. Do everything that your inner Venus, the divine feminine inside of you, demands of you. Self-care, self-nurture, joy and pleasure of the senses. Go out and buy that food which you're craving. Meet those people who really make you feel beautiful and special, and reciprocally, of course. Take extra time to rest, to take care of your body. Everything that has to do with health and beauty routines. It is also a really good period for a minor kind of detox, as in not a really soliciting one where it creates a lot of physical discomfort, but just minor gestures where you rather choose fresh foods, you drink more water, etc. So minor gestures of self-care. And of course, last but not least, this Empress can also represent very lucky opportunities in love and relationships for a lot of people, especially those who are single and looking. This is where your magnetism can attract people who are just like you, or who are seeking your own specific archetype or what you represent. And at the same time, this is where it can be perfectly true even in a professional and material perspective, because that Empress can basically make that Three of Coins extremely attractive. Your work, whatever it is that you do, especially if you are working with anything of Venusian nature like beauty, cosmetics, art, painting, music, everything that has beauty attached to it, this can be a really, really prosperous time for you. And last but not least, we also have this Hangman reversed. And this is a really, really good sign, both psychologically and spiritually, because it means breaking free from illusions, breaking free from false hopes. It can also represent a psychological rebirth, in the sense that for the past 3 months, for example, because look, the Empress is 3, the Three of Coins also has this 3 attached to it. You have done a lot of inner work, inner changes, just like the butterfly before it becomes butterfly. It's staying in the cocoon, becoming its true self. And this might be the time to just break out of that cocoon and allow your whole being to breathe and live in your inner truth, to banish all your fears, to simply feel free in your life, because your mind is free, because you're allowed to think for yourself, you're allowed to feel whatever it is that you want to feel. So basically this Hangman represents those of us who felt the need to disconnect from a lot of people, or to take months in solitude where we just work with ourselves and we just spend time with ourselves, our inner words, our souls, our inner children, etc. Well, this might be the time when we have to do the opposite, not have to do as in a karmic obligation or anything like that. If we feel the need to go out just a tiny bit and socialize and maybe smile at even total strangers, or allow certain good-willed people to get closer to us, this is a really, really good time, because that is how we break free from our bubbles, from the cocoon. This is where we can actually allow a little bit of sunshine in our lives, and it is profoundly healing. And this is where it just kickstarts the inner motor, where the desire to be alive and experience life and get out of hermit mode, for example, becomes stronger and stronger, and it gives our lives back, regardless of the global situation, for example. So the overall picture, it is really a good and prosperous time for so very many things, both materially, both psychologically, both spiritually, both in matters of love, especially if you're single and looking. Just that it's not going to be as quick, and it won't have the same tempo, so to speak, for everyone. So you must also embrace your own speed. You must also embrace your own inner mechanism and not compare that with other people. Just embrace how things are working out in your life and focus on that, and not really get into panic mode if things don't go as quick as you like them to be. Now, from a collective perspective, these cards mean totally different things, because this Empress and Three of Coins actually represents the power of the people. The Empress, whatever we deserve as a collective, whatever we deserve as, let's say, a nation, as citizens of a country. This Three of Coins might represent all of our work until this moment, and that work for many of us have been patience, diligence, having a very down-to-earth rational attitude, respecting others, respecting rules, trying our best to survive and not lose our livelihoods, for example, while this Hangman represents enough is enough. It represents breaking free from the cocoon, but if we take this in from a collective perspective, well, it kind of has rebellion, revolution, and demand, a cry for freedom, a cry for equality, a cry out for us to be able to basically enjoy life. And this is where it's not susceptible to negotiations, it's not susceptible to anything. What belongs to the Caesar belongs to the Caesar. What people demand have to be given to them. And also, also this week from an astrological perspective, Venus enters her home sign of Taurus. All of us will, regardless of where Taurus or Venus is in our charts, well, all of us will want to live life. All of us will want to, let's say, enjoy the sunshine, or meet our best friends, go fishing, or whatever that is. And this is where even the most, let's say, responsible people, peaceful people, understanding people will say that, enough is enough. There is also a time and place to live life as a human being, as a physical entity, and not really a virtual entity, a name and a picture on Facebook, but as a real life, living, breathing person. And at the same time, this Hangman reverse also represents that, okay, we are fighting for physical well-being and all of that. That's clear for everyone. But by this moment, our psychological well-being is so very much in danger as a collective that we are basically experiencing mass depression, mass psychosis, mass paranoia, and that will lead to a much darker fate than physical well-being, if you know what I mean. So important decisions are going to be made collectively, even legally. This week is going to be very, very important in that sense. And chances are, whatever happens will be a game changer globally. Let's get to the divine guidance. We have the Tower and the Nine of Wands reversed. Now, this guidance may not be for everyone. It may just be for some people. Well, what does it mean? The Tower means unexpected twist, and turns of events. It means that perhaps certain things in your life are going to turn out very differently than you'd expected or you haven't planned or imagined. There might be certain things in your life, as I say again, unexpectedly appearing, which might block you, which might delay you, which might set you off your course. And the guidance here is that that tower is divine intervention. It is actually the divine will changing certain things in your life, and that is exactly why this Nine of Wands represent powerlessness, because this is divine. This is where you shouldn't even have power over it, because the divine is almost like on autopilot, doing something for you which you could not do on your own, or you cannot see, or you cannot understand. So if sudden changes, change of plans, things which you didn't foresee enter your life, even if they may seem like a setback or confusing or you won't know what to do with it, you shouldn't really worry. You shouldn't brainstorm. You shouldn't overthink. You shouldn't worry or fear, because actually, regardless of how that situation will seem like at first, it will definitely be towards your greatest good. And this Nine of Wands, the universe is doing something for you and making something very easy for you. It is taking off your cross. It is giving you its shoulder, so to speak, its muscle power to make something in your life easier, even if you don't know or cannot see at that moment what it is. So the universe asks you to trust it. The universe asks you not to enter into panic mode, because this is such a divinely guided period that whatever happens is truly towards your greatest good. So don't let anything take away your faith. Don't let it take away your hope. Don't let it ruin your dreams or your desires, because even when something unexpected happens, perhaps it is the most ideal thing to divert you to the best possible path, which might be invisible to you right now. So this is like a quantum entanglement where the universe is serving your highest good. So don't fear it, don't panic. It is not a crisis or upheaval, even if it might seem that way. One way or another, and quickly, because both of these cards are very quick, you will see the good intent. You will see that it is a blessing. So just trust and don't fight the lightning. Don't fight the tower. Don't fight having to, let's say, surrender or losing certain things, because even if that is the case, it will truly be to your greatest good. And finally, and to be careful with position, this is truly complicated because we have the Justice and Ten of Swords. Well, the main message is obviously trust divine justice, because sometimes earthly justice may fail, earthly justice might be corrupt or not as blind as it should be. But that is where divine justice is absolute and it cannot be delayed or stopped or prevented in any way, shape or form. What this combination of cards means is that perhaps some people in some situation, especially if you have legal cases, official matters, or something not so favorable happened in the past and it's still affecting you, it is still an inconvenience, or if you lost something, well, you still feel the loss. And maybe it is human justice, earthly justice, for example, court system or whatever that may mean, cannot help your situation. You cannot get earthly justice, and you may feel like this Ten of Swords, like defeated. It's the end of the journey. You just have to surrender it. And the guidance is, it's absolutely fine. Be brave enough. Be wise enough to surrender earthly justice, because the divine is not gonna let you down. Sometimes the divine doesn't need a court of justice. It doesn't need earthly rules and laws and regulations. It doesn't need an authority or an organization to intervene because it can take care of itself. And the good thing about divine justice is that it will always strike at the very, very most opportunistic time possible. So basically, if you feel defeated, if you feel that there is some kind of major injustice in your life, if you feel, for example, like your voice doesn't matter, your opinion doesn't matter, your truth doesn't matter, or simply you cannot accomplish something which is rightfully yours, so to speak, and from a down-to-earth human perspective, you might not have any other choice than to surrender and accept that this is the case, this is the situation. Don't be depressed. Don't go hard on yourself. Don't make this turn your heart cold, bitter, poisonous. Don't lose your faith in the world and especially in the divine, because it will turn your situation around, but perhaps in ways which are beyond anyone's understanding. So what these cards mean, as in especially to be careful with, don't think that you're defeated, don't think that your truth or whatever the situation is doesn't matter to anyone or anything, because it matters very, very much for the universe. But the way the universe always acts, first it allows human justice to do its job, and when it fails, then it takes things into its own hands. So it's not over until the big boned lady sings. So don't feel depressed, don't feel oppressed, or don't take this personally, don't let this wound your soul, don't let this break your trust in the divine. Just allow earthly justice to do what it can do, and to know that the divine justice will definitely intervene if that is the case. And it's not gonna be like 100 years, or it's not gonna be when you're 80. Divine justice can be very, very quick. And there is only one way to quicken it. Well, that is to accept the fact that earthly justice failed and is not able to balance out the situation, because that is basically justice, and just surrender it into the hands of the divine and not really dwell on it. But of course, when there is an injustice in your life, you're not going to be happy about it, but neither should you amplify it, neither should you turn it into an inner toxin just eating up your heart, your happiness, your joy of life and trust in other people and in the world. Just accept it. Of course, cry and release your tension, release your pain, give it to the universe, but then also accept the fact that at that moment, when you have given it over to the universe, then is when it's gonna start working and creating its own divine justice, and you will get it, no doubt about it. And yet another expression of this card is that, some people will have to accept that a relationship in their lives, regardless of how beautiful, meaningful, nurturing, source of joy and happiness it was in the past, well, it's gone. Either the emotion is gone, or something that created this alliance, something you had in common is gone, and you have to surrender it. You have to accept that it will not work regardless of what you do. And the quicker you accept it, the quicker you can move on. And of course, this is where it doesn't really matter who did what, because as long as you are attached to what happened and why didn't it happen this way or that way, why didn't we do things differently, well, you're keeping the past alive. and you're not allowing this chapter to be closed, and under such an energy to dwell on the past, to dwell on regret is truly a self-defeating one, because you're gonna just rub salt and vinegar and acid into your own wounds. So if you need to surrender, if you need to just shut it out, do that. Because if a relationship is kept alive forcefully, that is a much, much greater injustice than allowing it to end. It is almost like when someone falls into a deep coma and their brain is already dead. Of course, everyone has hope and everyone will try everything to make that person better through prayers, through medical acts, through experimental drugs, etc. But once the brain is truly dead and once it cannot be brought back, you have to make the decision to plug it out, to give that person the chance to leave the physical realm. And it's the same thing with a relationship which isn't working anymore. And it really doesn't matter why. What matters is that it isn't supposed to be in your life right now. And if all your efforts to fix it, to turn it back to what it was, have failed, well then it is time to just accept and move on. Well, this concludes today's reading. I do hope that you enjoyed it and you found it useful. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for all the likes, all the shares, all the beautiful comments. They mean the world to me. And if you'd like to support my channel, you can donate via PayPal. You can find the link in the description below. Thank you once again. Wish everyone an absolutely amazing and magical new moon. And don't forget to plant seeds of intentions today. Dream as big as you can, because you never know what pure and beautiful dreams can accomplish. Thank you again. Until next time. Bye for now.